Have you ever heard about Congo meats, also called snails? Snail farming is a very important venture in Nigeria, especially in 2025, and it continues to increase in demand. And I'm going to be sharing with you whether snail farming is even worth the hype and how you can get started in 2025 doing snail farming.
Joshua
Joseph.
Snail farming is also called heliculture, and this is the process of raising and taking care of snails for them to be productive, to produce more snails, which can make you income. Getting to see snail farmer is a very rare thing. So many people are not interested in doing snail farming. They just think Congo meat is for the villagers, it's for those small children who go around picking snails all around the bush. And yes, this is how most people even do snail farming in Nigeria. You see young children, they go into the bush even late in the night looking for snails. They call it Congo meat, and then they get these snails and then they bring it and then they sell some of them even for as high as 1 to 1.5. But snail farming, if done correctly, if done as a business, can be something that is really profitable, especially in Nigeria. And see, snails are mostly there during the rainy season. They come outside, especially those ones that are in the forest or in the bush, and then during dry season they go into hiding because of the weather condition, which they don't like, which is not good for them. Now you see that most people, especially those of you in the diaspora, are in search of snails. Even restaurants, hotels, they are in search of snails. They also have snail meat, and this snail is something that is very nutritious in calcium, in phosphorus and potassium, and something that is very low in cholesterol, oils and fats. Demand for snail is very high, and it continues to increase every single year. So the opportunity in snail farming is very massive. If done right and if done as a business, you can enjoy the profits from snail farming. So can you even really make money from snail farming? And the answer is yes. You can make money even in the millions from snail farming. However, you must know that as for every other businesses, snail farming can be something that can be tedious if not done right, and if not done with patience. So just like you plant a crop and you're waiting for the appropriate time. You understand what I'm saying? So snail farming requires you to be consistent, to be hardworking, taking care of your crops, you're taking care of the goose that lays the golden egg. So you have to make sure that you're taking care of your snails properly. So this takes work. So snail farming takes hard work. It's not something that is just easy. It's not passive income. You have to work every single time for your snails to become productive. So snails come in different shapes and sizes and even colors. So you have budging snail, you have the mixed snail and things like that. But the major snail that is being sold in the Nigerian market is the Achatina or the Achatina marginata. And so how do you set up a snail farm? Set up a commercial snail farm of about 200 snails to begin with. You need to set up and construct a nice and a comfortable pen for the snails. And with 40,000 naira, you can build an effective and a comfortable snail pen. You can also use 100,000 naira or 150,000 naira to purchase about 200 snails. And one mature snail, after you've taken care of them through the cycle, one mature snail can give a profit margin of about 300 to 800 naira. You also need to know that your snail needs food to survive. Snails need food, and you must also know that the snails need to be sorted and arranged in particular manner so that it doesn't bring about overcrowding in the snail pen. You should arrange them as the young ones and the mature snails. Put them in different compartments so that they don't overcrowd and then also affect each other. So, but snails need to be fed at least morning and evening, and you can feed them with things like banana, potatoes, vegetables, pawpaw. You can feed them with those things, and even eggshell, because they need shell for their calcium, and which eggshell is also rich in calcium. But you must also note that snails do not want salt at all, so no salty water, no rice and salt. Anything you're giving to them, make sure it's as free from salt. For commercial snail farming, you need to get a pen that is very comfortable for your snails, and if possible, let this be a permanent site, a site where the snails can stay so they won't be moved up and down. Most times you can use wood and wire gauze. You need to just paint the woods and then construct a nice wire gauge so that the snails won't come out and so that predators won't come in to affect the snails, especially the young breed. While taking care and while growing your snails, you must ensure that you watch out for things that can affect or harm the snails. They have different kind of predators. Predators you must watch against are lizard, you must watch against frogs, you must watch against snakes, turkey, geese, you must watch against hen. These things can affect your snails, especially the ones, the newly hatched snails. Snails are called hermaphrodites, meaning they have both the male and the female reproductive organs that make them to lay eggs. Matured snails of about 8 to 12 months lay eggs, and these eggs hatch in weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks. And when these eggs hatch, they can give up to about 5 to 6 clutches per day. After the young snail has hatched, it can stay in the pen that has been made for the young hatch for 5 days, for about 5 days to 6 days. You take care of it. You look at this snail, you see that it has hatched, it has stayed for about 5 days. You move it to the side of the young ones so that it doesn't cause overcrowding, especially in that pen. Saying that one snail has given rise to about 300 to 400 snails. So in order for these things not to affect us be overcrowded, you have to move them to a separate compartment. Snails take about 8 to 16 months before they get matured. And to check for the maturity of any snail, you can look at the shells. The shell will be very hard and the snail is already large. In general, snail farming is a very lucrative venture in Nigeria if done properly. So ensure you have the proper pen site, you have a permanent site, you take care of your snails, you ensure there's no overcrowding, you ensure that you feed your snails with the right food every morning and every evening. So ensure that there's no predator is allowed into the pen of the snail, and ensure that you have proper record, proper bookkeeping for your business so that it doesn't run out of cash. So make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video.